people with very large hands or people that are pretty experienced.
And in China, because you mentioned like 5-year-olds, is it common that people are using these balls in China starting at age 5?
Oh yes, yes. It's very much been a part of their culture, and parents will give them their children.
So I can see, instead of saying, go in the corner, take a time out, go grab your Chinese balls. And
oh yes.
Okay, good. And what was the type of material of the one you just did with on the outside?
They're made from a cloisonné enamel, and they actually go through a very extensive 14-step process to make those, and they're all actually handmade.
Really?
Yes.
And what are the price ranges of these Chinese balls?
They can range from a basic chrome chiming is $10. They can range up to around $60 for some specialist stones such as tiger's eye, which are very difficult to get hold of.
Yeah.
But
have you ever tried to make your own?
No, I haven't. No.
Yeah. And these black ones here, what are these made out of?
Those are a black jade. And the set that you just had there, they're actually carved in the shape of walnuts.
Yeah, like
to emulate
the original.
Yes. Yeah,
and I noticed those are not perfectly round like the other ones.
That's correct.
So you've got all these Chinese balls. How do you know which one to use on any given day?
I let my intuition decide.
Okay, good. Fair enough.
Yeah. Some days I'll just go up and I'll pick a set up and be, oh, not this set today. And I just allow my intuition to guide me to whichever set
and
I want to use.
How many minutes a day do you practice with your Chinese balls?
I like to try and get at least 5 or 10 minutes in a day.
And when you're doing your Chinese balls, is it in front of the TV or is it just time to do Chinese balls?
It could be any time. If I have a few minutes between classes, they'll take that opportunity to work on something. Sometimes if I'm working on a project, I'll take some time out from that to allow myself to relax for a few minutes and allow my mind to relax.
Stimulate the brain.
Oh yes, very much so. Very much so.
Yeah. Is there a better time of the day to use the Chinese balls than the other?
No, there isn't. There isn't. You can use them any time of day. You can use them anywhere. I always travel with a set, and anytime I'm.
Do they let you on airplanes with those? Nah, the way things are going these days.
I always used to say I've never had a problem with that.
Yeah.
And 3 weeks ago, one of my Tai Chi students, she travelled with a set, and they actually wouldn't let her on the plane with them.
So she had to give them up?
She mailed them home, and but yeah, I've never had a problem, and I usually travel with a stone set.
Yeah, I would think that they would be able to be X-rayed pretty easily.
Yeah, I mean I've been stopped a number of times, but I've never been refused.
So where would be? Do you sell these yourself?
I do. Yes, all my classes come with a set of chiming included in the cost of the class. So if you don't have a set, then you leave the class with everything that you need.
With all the knowledge and the balls,
the knowledge and the equipment, yes.
And which type of balls, Chinese balls, do you give out with your class?
Those will be the basic chiming type, whether they're the cloisonné enamel versions.
Are they out here?
Similar to the ones in the front row.
Okay.
And there are lots of different styles. I have suns and moons, the yin and the yang that you see in the front there, dragons and phoenix, dolphins. I have a good variety of types because everybody likes something different.
And have you gotten any feedback from students or clients about the benefits of these Chinese balls?
I've had a lot of feedback, and
please share.
Some students actually during the class Even some of my shorter 1-hour presentations, they felt a lot more calm, a lot more relaxed, even within just a few minutes of using them.
Mm-hmm.
And some of my longer classes, I've had people come to the class where they've had arthritis or rheumatism in their hands, and they've actually come back to me a number of months later and said, one of the best things I've ever done. It's really given me a lot of relief from the pain in my hands.
That's great to hear. Now, there's Chinese therapy balls. Are these the same thing as Chinese therapy balls?
They are the same thing, yes. They're known by a lot of different names. Chinese worry balls, therapy balls, qigong balls, energy balls, Baoding balls.
Okay, so why valuable balls?
That's one of the two main names that the Chinese use.
Okay.
And because they value the benefits that you can get from them.
Yeah, and it's after you pay the initial investment, it's just totally up to you how much benefit you're going to derive from the Chinese balls.
It is, yes.
All right. Some people are attracted to chimes, and do the chimes have any other purpose besides stimulating the inner ear?
That's the main purpose of them.
Yeah.
And one of the other aspects is that it can change the exercise. So one exercise will be to have the balls making a constant chime. Another exercise will be to be using them and have them make no chime at all, which is a little tricky.
Aha. And so that would change the proximity of the balls, the speed of the ball.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Making no chimes is tricky.
Yeah, I can imagine like a room of 30 or 40 people with the people all with the chimes going at the same time. It's probably cool. And to me, if you had like a bunch of people doing the balls at the same time, it'd be almost like a group meditation or a group prayer.
Yes, it can be.
Now, when you teach your Qigong and your Tai Chi classes, are you using the balls with all the people in the class at the same time?
I don't actually mix my Tai Chi and my Chinese health balls classes.
Mm-hmm.
I do allude to the correlation between the two. So in my Chinese health balls class, I do tell people that you can practice Tai Chi, you can practice exercises while using them. You can take them for a walk with you.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I'm teaching my Tai Chi classes and I know there are people that have taken the class, I'll tell them that this would be a really good exercise for you to be using your Chinese health balls with.
Mm-hmm.
So I do cross over the two classes a little bit, but because I don't get the same people all the time in both classes, I don't mix the two.
You know, it's interesting because the number one mental health problem people see a psychologist or psychiatrist, social worker for is anxiety, and one of the symptoms of anxiety is cold hands. And so when you're working your hands, you're increasing the blood flow to the hands.
Oh, most definitely. You use these for a little while and you can make your hands sweat.
Now, we know when you got started with the Chinese health balls. When did you get started with Tai Chi and Qigong?
I've been practicing Tai Chi now for almost 11 years.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking for a form of exercise, and I'd seen it way back in the 80s, and I thought it looked pretty cool, and I wanted to give it a go.
And now, have you gone to China yet for a visit?
Yes, I've been to China twice now.
Studied with some masters?
I've studied with some instructors, whether they're masters. I don't know. Most people in Tai Chi don't really allude to rank or experience.
Okay. That's totally against it.
Yeah, it's against what most people think in the martial arts. But Tai Chi instructors tend to be a little bit more humble, especially the Chinese instructors.
Well, can we see you use like one of these balls over here?
Of course.
Something different.
This is a set of yellow jade.
Oh, I like those.
And you do exactly the same exercises. They just